If you're just joining us, we were talking to the Minister for Tourism, Mr. Najib Balala. They just released the first quarter performance results. It has risen by 15.1% as compared to last year's same period. And we're discussing about some of the attributes that have attributed to this. And we're talking about now the products. We're getting into films. What needs to be done for films? Because like Nigeria has an identity when it comes to their film culture. What does Kenya need to do to attract tourists?
First of all, we have the content. We have a story to tell about Kenya and about Africa. And we have the environment and the area to shoot these films. A lot of people are interested, but incentives are the issues that they will count on. To attract all the big film corporations to come in, the Hollywood, to come in here and do major shootings, then they need incentives and they need rebates. We have tried to give some incentive as a government, and I was involved into formulating some incentives. So that's why a few films have started coming in here. We are not at the level of Bollywood and Nollywood, but I believe we can do it. So incentive is very key to bring that, and that's the technology that is being imported into the country. And then we create schools where people are trained into performing, into even the equipments, handling that and shooting as well. I think this is important for us to develop. So this is actually, you are giving skills to Kenyans so that the film corporation does not have to bring the human resource. They can only come here and take the advantage of the environment or the area. Rather of bring equipment. So equipments can be available here, but incentive to equipments and rebates to the film, then it will be attractive.
All right.
But it is something that when it is used, out of Africa was used in the 80s, it is the one that sold Kenya. Yeah, Constant Gardener, it was used. Many other films were done in Kenya. Yeah, and that is what put Kenya on the map. But we don't want films that are negative. We can also have stories and documentaries that are positive for Kenya.
All right. In terms of challenges, let's talk about ivory. Just the other day, recently, there was about a lot of ivory that was confiscated on transit from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. What is being done about this?
First of all, quite a number of ivory that is being confiscated now here is not necessarily from Kenya, maybe from neighboring countries, because we are very strict in ivory trade, but also poaching. Poaching is now sophisticated than the old style of poaching. KWS is trying its best. My position is that when we collect all this ivory, we don't just go and burn it and put it on fire. We actually should do an inventory of this ivory, what they have collected, establish a trust, hand it over to the trust, establish a museum where you're going to showcase the ivory. And everybody else who own ivory, and we want them to return, they'll be more than willing to donate it back and have a label in the museum of their name as a gratitude, and they'll feel proud about it. And we have investors who will be willing to put up a museum where we are showcasing the ivory that we have collected. Then the funds out of that museum can be used to save the elephants and to fight poaching. So that's my concept. But to take 20 or 30,000 tons of ivory and just to put it on fire, I think it's a waste. Just to make a statement is not good enough. Get a solution done. So burning is a good statement, but is not solving the constraints of securing and policing of the ivory trade and the poaching in the country.
All right. Now, in terms of poaching, how bad of a situation is it? Has it decreased over the years?
Well, in Kenya it's not that bad, but I'm aware of our neighboring countries, it's worse. I know the constraint that KWS is facing is resources again, and remember the human conflicts with fighting with the conservation areas. I mean, humans want to come to the conservation areas, and then they're accessible to it. And the trade is lucrative, the Far East. But I think also we need to have a campaign to go to the Far East to educate them about why they should not trade in ivory. I think the minute we convince the East, then the market demand will be less. So we'll have then to reduce the number of poachers into the country. But because of the sophistication of ammunition and also the demand of the trade, then it puts KWS in a dilemma in addressing it. But they've done a good job. But I believe that now we have the inventory and stocks of ivory. We should now utilize them positively by establishing a trust, a museum, that then we can showcase ivory from all over the world and ask people to donate back the ivory, and then that revenue that is going to be got from the museum, then it is a fund to save the elephants and to fight poaching.
All right, brilliant. I know we've spoken a lot about attracting foreign tourists, but what is being done about domestic tourism, and has it grown?
Well, the domestic tourism has grown tremendously. Unfortunately, we don't have measures to know what the figures are. We are working with the Association of Hotel Keepers so that they can be able to give us returns every month of how many Kenyans go to their facilities. But it has grown. We are going to spend 55 million shillings to market Kenya to Kenyans, and 45 million shillings within the region. So we know that there's a potential in Africa alone is much more, rather of depending even to the overseas foreign clients. But this is an opportunity that we are now aggressively addressing this issue.
All right, maybe as we wind up, 100 billion shillings in terms of revenue is a huge amount of number. What are kind of the projects that you have in place?
Well, first of all, we generate the money, 100 billion shillings. In terms of being given the resources to do our job, it is negligible. We just said 5% of what we generate should be given to marketing. Then we'll have an impact in a big way to position Kenya at its place worldwide. That is a challenge. But I know what should be done. What should be done is product diversification, but product diversification does not go, it goes hand in hand with security and infrastructure. And the government has done a lot in that and is doing a lot. So what we are saying is give us 5% of what we produce, 5% of 100 billion, that is 5 billion, just to market the country. And then we will have the impact and the numbers that were expected in the Vision 2030.
All right, well, that's quite very ambitious. All the best.
Yeah, but very recently, the royal wedding, which has done great for Kenya in terms of name, and we have promoted, even during the royal wedding, you've seen Kenyan being promoted in the live coverage of BBC and CNN, and those are the efforts that Kenya Tourism Board has done.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, we have been speaking to the Minister for Tourism, Najib Balala, and today they released the quarterly results. They have gone up by 15.1%, which is an impressive growth. Mr. Balala says that they are anticipating more growth, and they are intending to close the year at 100 billion shillings in terms of revenue. We have also been talking about branding Kenya, marketing Kenya in a way that it is attractive not only to us Kenyans, but also people and investors outside. Well, that's a wrap from here at KICC. Enjoy the rest of the show. I've been your host, Liz Ntunjira.